Alright, hello everyone. Today we're going to be talking about the Leo Cup, which is CM number 4. For this CM, I know it's going to be really tough because you see on the planner, oh my god, in 1 month I have 2 CMs. Well, yes, I've also considered that. And so all of the strategies that we will talk about will have some for you guys to chill out with. Alright, I know some of you are burning out. It's okay, I'm also burning out. So that's why I have some lazy strategies in case you just want to chill out for this CM or you want to minimally participate in this CM. I have some of them for you already, right? So this is going to be the Leo Cup guide. Okay, moving on to the first part here, which is going to be what the racetrack is, right? This is a 2200 meter Hanshin clockwise track. So it's right-handed, not left-handed, right? Where is the acceleration phase here? The acceleration phase is at the final leg and it's going to be at the 3rd to 4th corner here. So that is very relevant for every single CM. We always look at the acceleration phase. We buy acceleration skills that activate at this section of the final leg. Take note for this CM, there are 2 uphills, but there are no downhills at all. Right, that is something that's very important for the purposes of Go Ship. Right, so that is something that is going to be really important to understand here. Okay, so now that we've looked at that, let's look at the uniques that we'll be hunting for this CM. Right, Legacy tier list here is actually really simple. Have you seen the Taurus Cup Legacy tier list? It's the exact same. Literally the exact same. You will see the big 3. Marzensky, Taiki Shuttle, Majiro Ryan. But today, we add Seiyun Sky. Welcome Seiyun Sky to the big 4. From now on, any CM where you see a corner unique activation, you will probably see these big 4 here again. Because they all activate at the corner, and then Seiyun Sky, you will just see her more often. Because Seiyun Sky doesn't give a shit. Seiyun Sky activates whenever Seiyun Sky wants to activate. Basically, the first position. Right, so yeah, this is a very dangerous combo of horses here, and if you see them as your parents, you will be very happy. These are definitely some of the best parents in the game for improving your CM win rates. Right, moving on, we have the stat recommendations and the stat minimum recommendations. Right, why are these two different? It's just that to survive purely, right, is just 850 stamina, 1 recovery, and 300 guts. However, there's this thing called recovery efficiency, right? The chance of activating only 1 go recovery, depending on your wit, is low. Having 2 is higher chance, right? Even if 1 doesn't activate, at least the other one will activate. So that's why we recommend you to at least get 2 go recoveries. So in case 1 doesn't work, at least you have 1 more, so you don't instantly die with the horse. Another thing is that this is a medium race. Medium race, do you know who's here? The devil herself, Nice Nature. The devil is going to gaze at you, mystifying murmur you. And the devil brought a friend this time, wedding my honor top gun, another mystifying murmur horse. And because of that, the stamina requirements for this one might be a bit higher. So having a little bit of extra stamina or guts, both of them are kind of similar, share the same relationship. If you can just pump these up a little bit more, you will have a much easier time surviving. Right, so this is something to recommend to you. Just try to go for as high power as possible. Still a very important stat, we don't sacrifice it, but you need to get that stamina also for safety purposes. So if you live and you have high power, you will win. But if you die and you have high power, you will lose. That's what happens. Right, so just go towards the side of safety here. That's why I recommend higher stamina instead. Right, so yeah, the wits, if you can get higher, awesome. More consistency. More guts means just basically more stamina. It's basically functionally the same. If you have a bunch of stamina and not a lot of guts, it's fine because the stamina can help to protect you. The guts a little bit higher and the stamina a little bit lower, it's okay also. The guts can provide a little bit of extra help to make sure you don't die in the race. Right, they have a very similar relationship to each other. Okay, moving on, we now have the tier list over here. Right, in this tier list, you can see that this is going to be the Wedding my honor top gun as well as the Nice Nature. So we talk a little bit about Wedding my honor top gun. Wedding my honor top gun has Mystifying Murmur. Mystifying Murmur is infinite range. In addition, she can be run and closer, and she can also have Swinging Maestro by default. So because of all of these things, including the fact that she has, I think, 10% speed, 10% stam, and 10% wit, she is able to really easily hit stat lines and be able to survive by dodging everyone's murmurs and gazes by being behind. And she can even shoot her own murmur at everyone in front. Murmur has infinite range, by the way. It's all horses in front of you, no limit. So that means that you are just going to kill every horse in front of you. This horse is very dangerous. It is a hybrid debuff ace horse that can actually try to win in this CM. Yes, enclosers do not have straightaway spurt, because they do not have a corner over here. But just by making everyone else die, you can make this horse live and win because she's the only one alive, right? That's the power of the Wedding Mariano Top Gun, right? 2 Mystifying Murmurs and a Gaze. Try to survive that. It's going to be tough. And remember that other people can also bring their own, right? So if you ever get a lobby with Wedding, nice nature, everyone's going to die. Then whoever lives is the guy in the back line. Any of those Wedding Marianos will be the one that win the game already, right? So yeah, that's pretty much why she's very, very dangerous. However, now that I've said the worst case scenario, I want to bring you all back a bit, right? Realistically, how many people have Wedding Mariano? She's a 3-star horse that you pulled on. Now that people know that you want to save a lot, because pulling in this game is not like MiHoYo games where there's PT carryover or shit like that. This is just generally quite rare to see. You will not see a lot of Wedding Marianos, but you will see some of them. And sometimes you will get lobbies full of them, and if you do, so be it. That's how it is, right? But most people will not have the Wedding Mariano because they didn't dump a bunch of pulls into a bunch of Uma banners, right? So it's going to be, I don't know, RNG, whether you will get a lobby with weddings or a lobby without weddings. But you may expect to see 1 or 2 of them every now and then, right? Just be very, very aware of what happens here with this Wedding Mariano and Nice Nature combo over here, right? But I can almost assure you that almost everyone is going to run a debuffer because gamers, by default, always lean towards the easiest and meta way to win the game. And because of that, Nice Nature is the easiest meta horse to make you win the game. Because if all the opponents are dead, you basically survive and win the game, right? So that's why she is basically here, right? After that, we have the other 2 over here, the Swimsuit banner. Also a 3-star whale banner in a way, right? This banner has Swimsuit Marzenski, who is going to be the strongest frontrunner, and also Swimsuit Spechan, who is actually a really, really solid end closer for this CM because her unique is a recovery. And recovery unique is basically like Agnes Tachyon. If I put Swinging Maestro on her, and I put her unique on her, and I build her for end closer position, and then I just get all the gambling skills, as long as everyone else dies in the lobby, this Spechan has a chance to win. So she's a survivor horse. So there'll be 2 types of horses here. Ones are those that are just here to survive, and one is Swimsuit Marzenski. And the last one is Swimsuit Marzenski. So horses that survive are just there to survive, and if they live, they live. But Swimsuit Marzenski is just the horse. She is the horse. She is insanely hard to beat. Her unique will activate in the middle leg, which is basically at the straight line over here. It is very hard to beat that speed unique. It's a 0.35 speed for 5 seconds. Almost impossible to beat. It is technically possible. I've put some ways down, but it's going to be very hard. Very, very hard. And then you'll be probably fighting a bunch of other Swimsuit Marzenskis for the first position. Whichever of these swimsuits gets to first. And that first Swimsuit Marzenski activates both her recoveries and doesn't get hit by any gazers, she will win the game. That's what's going to happen. If that Swimsuit Marzenski happens to be alone, then she cannot win the game. But she will have a strong chance to get 2nd place also. So that's something to go and note here for this Swimsuit Marzenski, right? Very, very polarizing horse. If there's multiple swimsuits, it's going to be a nightmare. If there's only one, it's not going to be that bad. It's possible to win with any position in that case. But if there's multiple, you're in for a bad time, right? Swimsuit Marzenski is going to be very, very polarizing. People thought that Ghost Ship spam was annoying. You haven't seen this one yet, all right? Moving on to the A tier. These are all mostly survivor horses. They all just want to survive and win the game just by surviving, except for a bit of Ghost Ship here. Ghost Ship, her unique is very, very good because it will get you a very good position keep, and because of her unique, right, being basically super easy to activate, right, you will be able to get to number 6, and then after the number 5, and then you activate the accelerations at the right timing, and then you just win the game off of that. This is a very, very powerful horse once again. The bad news is that you can't use Go Home Specialist, and if your unique activates and you go in front of a Nice Nature and she happens to gaze at that timing, you're still dead anyway. So that is something that is really sus that could happen if you're using Ghost Ship, but Ghost Ship's unique is really, really strong, and so she is still highly rated because her unique is still really, really good. For those who experienced her in Gemini, you know that Ghost Ship with her unique will sometimes beat the shit out of Frogshin, even though Frogshin is like the number 1 horse recommended, right? It's because Frogshin, according to my chat, right, is a fraud. But no, actually it's just because for your Taishin, you need more skills to make her position better, and Ghost Ship has hers as a unique. So yeah, it's really, really damn tough here. The unique being so easy to activate for Ghost Ship just puts her a step above Taishin for position keeping, but Taishin has the advantage of that 0.4 XL. If she can get the right position, she's almost unbeatable already, right? So that's why you will see a lot of Ghost Ship still in this CM, and also because Ghost Ship was made for Taurus Cup, so people probably copy-pasted her into this CM. Yep. So yeah, moving on from this list over here, we also have the debuffers in this section here. Dominator debuff is still going to be solid. If you want to, you can run double Dominator and then run one Ace Horse somewhere. That could be something that you actually do in case you don't want to play the stamina game and instead want to play the I survive by nuke everyone's speed so that my horse at the back can try to win the game. That's something that you actually can do also, right? You run like Symboli Rudolph and Grass Wonder and then you just dominate everyone in the lobby, and that's something that you can also do, right? So this is also a viable strat. The stamina strat is probably going to be the more generically strong strat, right? You could do double Dominator strat for maybe the finals, just so you can kill everyone and you know that the finals are pretty strong players who have good stamina, or maybe you lucked out and got jobbers, right? Well, either way, the speed debuff will do their job. Nuke their speed until your ace can try to win at that point, right? After that, we go into the B tier over here. In the B tier, we have the Seiyun Sky, we have the Super Creek, we have the Narita Brian, and we have the Fuji Kiseki. These horses are solid horses, but they need to get a bunch of recoveries from other sources to make them work. Otherwise, they really cannot like function, right? Like some of them, they do have their own, like Pace Chaser, Gourmand and stuff, but her unique currently is not buffed, which is why she's not that amazing yet. But later on, once she gets buffed, she will become much, much better. Seiyun Sky is basically a horse that has no innate recovery also, so you need to go and find all of it elsewhere. Ines Fujin, Super Creek, for example. Ines Fujin Guts SSR, by the way, right? Super Creek, same, Swinging Maestro inside of her, so that means if you use the Super Creek card, which you can't, that means you can't really double the Swinging Maestro, which means you have to go and find other things, right? The Special Weeks Gourmand or whatnot, right? Well, Agnes Tachyon, she has Race Planner by default, which means that it's much easier to make a very, very good Agnes Tachyon, but Super Creek takes a bit more effort, so I don't want to put them in the same tier here. But technically, they are both survival horses, so as long as you make them properly, they will be able to survive already. You need to give her Race Planner. For example, the Daiwa Power card coming up soon is a very, very F2P card that allows you to have access to Race Planner, so you could use that to get Race Planner on her, and then Special Week to get Gourmand on her. A lot of effort, but like, I would rather use Agnes Tachyon for that, so yeah, right. Moving on, we have Brian, also don't have that. So we basically need to go and inject her with a bunch of like special weeks and blah blah blah. Right. Same thing here actually for the C tiers. The C tiers, they generally have a problem where they have to find their recoveries elsewhere also. And on top of that, they don't have the stuff from these horses here that help them to win the game. Right. At least these two have some speed uniques that are actually going to be quite functional. The rest of them are very tough to use because no innate recoveries, need to buy elsewhere, and their uniques are maybe not super strong, but some of them are really strong. For example, your Major Ryan. But Major Ryan in late surger positions. You notice that a lot of these horses are late surgers, right? By default, like this one or this one. Well, they can't, because if they're late surger, they're guaranteed hit by double gaze. Nice natures are going to be very common. So if you get hit by double gaze, you're dead, because you got hit by murmurs as well. So they're just going to die immediately. So they can't be late surgers, which is why they're not that strong. That's why we have to put them in C tier. I mean, look at Ryan, right? You have the Mijiru Ryan unique, still insanely powerful. So yeah, that is something that she can do. So you just have to shove her end closer. That means you can't use any of her golds, and then you need to go and like find a way to make her gamble more, right, in order to win. So that's something that you have to go and figure out. Right, yeah, so that's why these horses are not really the best horses for this CM. Another thing is like what, Taishin, you know Taishin, right? Taishin basically Sleeping Lion, lol, not really a very reliable recovery, so we can't really rely on that one. But otherwise, yeah, she doesn't have the more consistent unique like Ghost Ship. So Ghost Ship significantly better purely because her unique is better. And Encroaching Shadow just straight up doesn't work on this CM. So we just don't use her, right? And then Daiwa Scarlet, the sacrificial frontrunner strategy, doesn't really work anymore. You need a lot of recoveries. Race Planner is a pace chaser position. And for this CM, the frontrunner that you will see a lot of is going to be either Seiyun or Swimsuit Marzensky. Those are the only two options already. For the FT over here, basically all of these horses here do not have consistent recoveries or don't really have anything to help them to win, right? We went through all of the logics here. Basically, if you fight something like Swimsuit Marus or fight survivor horses who have a much easier time being made, you are not going to win against them. Like, these horses are just not going to be very, very strong. So that's why we all put them into the F tier. These horses will basically not win anymore. I even took out the Oshi thing here so you don't get confused anymore, right? So all these horses are in their exactly correct positions already. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the tier list over here. We talk a little bit about the skills and the cards now, Right. For the skills themselves, the priority is going to be recoveries. Take note, Breath of Fresh Air is still RNG, it's not buffed yet. Later on, it will be buffed and it will become a very, very solid recovery for a lot of people. But for now, we basically only have a bunch of recoveries like this. Your Restless here is actually inside of your swimsuit Maruzenski. So she has this by default, which means you put Swinging Maestro on her and have her innate Restless, means her stamina is very, very good to go already. Right? Pace Chasers have the most recovery access. Race Planner is a free card, so you have access to the Race Planner card soon, the Daiwa Scarlet card. It can give you this Go recovery here. Gorman is from Special Week, you can RNG the Gorman from it, and Swinging Maestro is from Super Quick again. Late Surges, they have no other options, they have nothing at all. So they can only get Swinging Maestro, and they're the most likely to get hit by the Nice Nature debuff, so very unlikely that you will see any Late Surges in your lobby ever. If you do see some of them, they're probably going to die immediately, because they're going to get hit by the All-Seeing Eyes. Right. After that, we have Enclosers who can dodge the All-Seeing Eyes, and they can only get Swinging Maestro or Breath of Fresh Air if they are Mayano Top Gun. Otherwise, they basically have to pump their stamina up. The good thing is that Ghost Ship and Mayano do have 20% stamina bonuses. Wedding Mayano also has 10% stamina bonus. And so that's going to be a very, very easy time to go and make them have enough stamina to survive. Right? Take note, you do not need straightaway spurt. I repeat again. Right? I don't want to see people buy straightaway spurt on your Encloser for this CM. It literally does nothing. So that actually makes your life easier because you do not need to go and hunt down straightaway spurt at all. Right, this CM, as long as you make an Encloser that survives with decent skills to go and fight for the position, get number 6 and get number 5 over here, you can win the game. Alright, you can just win the game with an Encloser. So that is the only thing I want to see on all of my Enclosers. Alright, no spurts this time. Literally, I'm saving you time by not grinding spurt. So you should not go and grind for spurt. We are done here. Alright, so anyway, that's all I want to say for this one. For the sample decks here, we basically put every single important skill on these cards over here with some swapping options. For example, this one is Summer Runner, this one is guaranteed right-handed, this one is a stat stick in case you need to get additional stats to go and clear your Ura finals. Then after that, Yeno Muteki appears in every single parent deck because that is a very, very good parent card to go and put in. But if you don't have Yeno Muteki, then just put in any of the swappable cards. Alright, these are just all options for you to go and put into your final deck. And of course, every single deck most likely will just bring a freaking Agnes Tachyon. Why? Because Agnes Tachyon has medium corners and also a bunch of debuffs, and the debuffs are all functional for this CM. They're all really, really good debuffs. So Agnes Tachyon for medium, very, very important parent card. Right? Nishino Flower, notably, is also a very, very good card for a lot of these positions. Pace Chaser corners, as well as the, what do you call it? Hanshin Racecourse, because this is the Hanshin Racecourse, and also comes with firm conditions. So all of the access of the greens here. Majuro Palmel's SSR Guts is also a viable option because it comes with Savvy, as well as some other stuff that I can't remember right now. Right, so these are all of the different things to put here. Remember, you don't have to follow it. I wrote in the disclaimer, if you don't have the parent deck or you have other cards that you want to swap out your parent decks for, like skill sticks or stat sticks because you can't clear Ura comfortably, then just do it. Alright, just do it. These are just samples. They are just cards that have very good value in them, so we put them here for you to go and copy paste. Right, whale decks, we add a crazy amount of whale cards, but you do not need to put them in. You can just swap out to an SR if you do not have them. Same for the budget decks here, because these are just all SRs. We never recommend our cards for the budget deck because our cards just do not provide enough stat output. Alright, moving on to the team comps over here. We have the possible strategies for this CM over here. The first one, which I think is going to be a very expensive but popular one, is just straight up debuff them, and also keep her as a winnable horse. And then you have your Esmaru. And then you just go into CMs. If everyone dies, your Wedding Mayano can win the game. If you have Esmaru versus another Esmaru, your Esmaru can also win the game. If there's no Esmaru in the lobby, then so be it. Esmaru just kind of stands there. Right, that's pretty much it. Right, that is basically what this strategy is over here for this 1 ace plus 1 debuffer plus 1 hybrid strategy over here. Next, we have the double ace plus debuffer comp, the standard one, similar to Taurus Cup. Right, Taurus Cup, you can put Oguri, you can put Mayano, you can put Ghost Ship, put Agnes, put Super Creek, whatever the hell you want. Right, whatever your favorite horse is, you can just put it here. That'll be your second ace. You have Ghost Ship as the solid Encloser horse that can survive, or Mayano if you like Mayano instead. And after that, you just put a debuffer into your lobby, and then you can just beam people with the All-Seeing Eyes. Right? Then this is Urzi's favorite, which is the 2 debuffer and 1 ace. Why? Because it is extremely lazy. You just need to make a Grass Wonder with Dominator, and then you just make this one with the All-Seeing Eyes as well as the Mystifying Murmur. Congratulations, completed. 2 debuffers done in basically 1 to 2 runs. Literally, it's really, really damn easy, right? The debuffs, take note, you want to debuff only ends, pieces, and fronts depending on what you fear the most, right? If you fear fronts, then you debuff the Esmaru. If you fear end closers, then you just debuff all the end closers. And then if you are scared of the pace chasers, you just debuff the pace chasers. Most of the time, I think that the fronts and ends are going to be the higher priority, but then the pace chasers can be a third priority if you manage to go and hit those also. So why not, right? So that's going to be it for the 1 Ace plus 2 debuffer. Next, we have the Cancer comp. The 1 hybrid plus 2 debuffer team comp. So you have Dominator, All-Seeing Eyes, and Mystifying Murmur, and then Mystifying Murmur, and this horse will be the only win con in the entire lobby. A variant of this one, but requires a Wedding Mayano. So technically we can go with triple debuffer, but at least one of the aces can even try to win. So that is something that is actually very, very scary. And if I see this in my lobby, I'm going to cry, because you're literally out here to kill everyone and not really caring about winning, because you only have 1 ace. But so be it, right? So be it. Okay, moving on, we have the Sacrificial Frontrunner debuffer plus Esmaru. Because in this CM, it's possible that people did not hit Esmaru and they just run no Esmarus. And if you get 2 of those kinds of people in your lobby, you basically will not have any frontrunners to boost your Esmaru. If Esmaru is alone as a frontrunner, she basically is cooked. So that is something to note over here. So if somehow everyone can agree, right, to not run a single Esmaru, right, we can actually make all of the Esmaru players die. That's something that could happen. But basically, for those who want to avoid that situation happening, you make a second frontrunner. They don't need to win, they just need to be groundwork and fight this one for the front position. However, because it's so much effort to make 2 groundwork frontrunners, I suspect you will not see this one too often, or you will see some really shit ones, right? In that case, if you run your own Esmaru, then you can benefit also from fighting the other horse over here and use that one to boost you up also, right? But anyway, regardless, if there's 2 Esmarus in the lobby, both of them will mainly be fighting each other already, right? So yeah. After that, you just bring your debuffer, and congratulations, you're complete with your team comp. And then the absolutely laziest option, because too many CMs will Mukhaos, I don't want to play this game anymore. Hold on, don't burn out, right? Just copy paste Oguri, Go Ship, Nice Nature. The only one that you might want to redo a little bit is just Go Ship, right? You just take out Go Home Specialist. Don't buy Go Home Specialist anymore. It doesn't work on this track. And then you just give her medium S, no straight away split required also. Give her Ryan and Marazinski unique. And then you put her in the back, give her Swinging Maestro, and give her a lot of stamina. Once you do all of that, she is a viable horse to win already. Pace Chaser Oguri, just copy paste. You can redo it if you want to put the Maruzensky and Taiki Shuttle on it, and that will be enough. There's nothing else she needs. Literally nothing else. If you want anything else, it's just all bonuses already. More bonuses means more chance to win. That's it. Right. After that, Nice Nature, copy paste also Taurus Cup. You can change it for more debuffs for these positions, or don't give a shit, just leave it like that. Right, that's it. Right, so you see, this is like the easiest team comp I can give you already. If you have Agnes Tachyon here, also just put Agnes Tachyon in. You just get Maru and Taiki and then call it a day already. Right, that's it. Alright, this is probably the easiest team comp if you really cannot be bothered to play the game anymore. Right, a little bit of optimization is available to you if you want to do a little bit of that, because it's only like maybe maximum 5 runs, I'll say. Right, it's really like no hunting groundwork, no straight away spurt hunting. You just get a medium horse, get a bunch of sparks into it, get all of the core acceleration uniques and the skills, and you're done. You're done, okay? Do not burn out, alright? Do not burn out. There will be more CMs after this. This CM just happens to be horrendous. This is a horrible CM. It's just debuffer hell. Then after that, we're going to long CM, which is also horrendous in another way, right? But basically, there will be other CMs. Eventually, your favorite CM will come. Just survive these ones for now, okay? Just survive these ones for now, okay? This is pretty much all I have to say for this video here. Hopefully this has helped you out, right? And also lastly, I have Urzi's comment here. Being healthy is honestly good enough in this economy, yes. Because everyone is going to be running Nice Nature, because Nice Nature is the laziest horse available and is just a very good win rate improver. In JP, they hate debuffers, but it's also the second most built horse in the entire game. Why? Because it's easy and people lean towards meta every single time, right? So yeah. That's pretty much all I have to say for all of this here. There is a giant disclaimer over here to tell you that if you do not see a skill here, you do not buy it. So I did not put straight away spurt. I did not put early lead. Please do not buy those 2 skills. They are not buffed yet. And spurt doesn't work on this track because it is a corner track, not a straight line track. Alright, that's it. For parent coping, all you need is to get the medium spark and then groundwork if you're a front runner or don't care at all. if you are any other position. Literally, that is it. Alright, if you have those, you can copium the parents already. You can move on to making the horse yourself. Right, just hit not Mount S, you hit the medium S, and then the stat thresholds that are recommended, and you will very likely go to Leo Cup A finals already. I can almost guarantee that already. Right, so that is all I have to say over here. Hopefully this has helped you out. Please provide feedback, because our editor I've hired is going to be helping me out with all of these long videos. Hopefully it's made it more interactive with all of you. In addition, for those of you who are asking why there are no more lore sections for my videos, is because I want to upgrade that. I want to make a storyline, a storyboard, and get artists, and then we make a full-on like kind of animated video where we just kind of talk about the entire life story of very, very major horses with very interesting storylines to talk about. Right, Oguri, TM Opera O and Doto, Bakushin, Brian, Mayano, all of these have very, very interesting stories. There are some with really boring stories also, but they are always very interesting to tell. Right, so I think that it's better if I do it like that rather than combine it with this guys over here. But you may see me still do additional bloodline updates, right, to the canvas sheet, because sometimes I'll be like, oh, whose bloodline is this? And then I'll just write it down, write it down. For example, Lark the Triumph is coming up soon, right? So for that one, I need to go and find out who's Croy's dad and mom, who is the Jungle Pocket's daughter, son, and then so on and so forth. There's a lot of different horses that are coming in. I think Duramente, Jungle Pocket, and Special Weeks, and then Kita-san. These are the 4 bloodlines that are major for that one. So you might see me still update for those. Right, but anyway, that's for all of those who were wondering where the lore videos, the lore part of my videos went. Other than that, if you like to support me, you can always just join me on my streams on Wednesday or Saturday. Right, I always stream at those in my time, 6 p.m. Right, and if you want to ask me more personal questions, I only accept them from my Ko-fi. I do not accept them from the Discord directly. Please do not DM me on the Discord. And I do have a Discord, and if you do sub to me, you can get access to some of my stuff, a bit more early access, like my drafts, my tier lists, my early updates, and my video ideas, basically. Right, so yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say here for this video. Thanks guys for watching, and hopefully this has helped you, and goodbye.